again, Yellow Van fans. We are on another trip. This time we are headed back to one of our favorite places, Yellowstone. Now, you may have heard, if you listen to the podcast, that we just recently moved to Montana. So we're actually not that far away from Yellowstone anymore. So it's going to be a short trip. However, it is raining a lot right now. And so we are not sure how this trip is going to go. But we are currently traveling through a lot of rain, and we will see how things are when we get to Yellowstone. Alright, we have arrived in Yellowstone National Park. We just came through the West Yellowstone entrance where we had no wait because we are here later in the day, and so there was not a line of cars there. We did have to get our new America the Beautiful pass because our old one had expired, so we got our new one. This is $80 and it will get you into all of the national parks, national monuments, national whatever for a whole year. So we really recommend that you get that if you're going to be traveling to more than like 2 national park sites or just to support the national parks. So we just got our new one, and now we are headed into the park. We are going to try and get around the Old Faithful area to the Grant Village campground where we are staying. And it is currently not really raining here. It's sprinkling a little bit, so we're hoping that maybe we'll be able to get around to our campground and at least set up our tent in the relative dryness. Okay, we have arrived at the Grant Village campground now. Megan is going to try and get us checked into our campsite. Unfortunately, it is raining here quite a bit, so we will see how it goes when we try and set up our camp. Alright, we made it to the campsite and it is raining a lot, so Megan and I hopped out. We got the tent set up here, but of course while we were doing that we didn't have the rain fly on, so there's a lot of water in the tent. So my job now, while Megan tries to take the girls to the potty, is to try and get the water in here wiped up before we bring anything in. Okay, so I got that done, drying that off in there, and here's just a little camping tip for you guys. Get some of these quick drying towels. I don't know if they're microfiber or what they are, but they're really, really good for camping, especially if you're going to camp in the rain and maybe water's going to get into your tent, because they dry off super quickly, and they're super helpful to have for drying things off, showering, dishes, anything like that. Just find some of those quick drying towels. I think these are just Ozark Trail from Walmart. We've also gotten some from like the recreation outlet, lots of different places, but they're really, really good to just have a couple extra of these in your camping gear. Okay, so we went to the visitor center here at Grant's Village and got the Junior Ranger book and checked out the exhibits, and it's continued to rain off and on, and now we are just attempting to cook dinner, but of course our picnic table's all wet, so we set up this little table we have here from Beckworth and Company. They sent this to us a few years ago, and we're just trying to get our stove here and get this cooked. The rain is holding off for at least a little minute here. Alright, we ate our dinner under our car, and well, not under our car, but under the back of our car, and the girls were inside the car to keep out of the rain, and then it started hailing too, but now it's kind of cleared up a little bit. There's a little bit of sunshine peeking through, and we are going to go see the mud volcano area here. Good morning again, Yellow Van fans. So we slept in the tent last night. It was kind of cold, but we had lots of layers, so we stayed warm. Isla did pretty good.
Mama, I did
Isla did pretty good sleeping last night, and so did Lucy, so that was good. Isla just woke up, I think, once in the night. And now the girls and I are just on our little morning walk so that Megan can get some extra sleep. We're going to go see if we can find the amphitheater. Okay, so we were on our little walk and we could not get to the amphitheater because there was a suspension bridge that was closed. So we went out and saw the lake instead, which was fun. And now we're back at camp and we're just getting ready to make some breakfast. Okay, so we got our stuff packed up and we're ready for the day, and now we are headed over to the Grant Village Visitor Center for a quick ranger program. Alright, we went to the ranger program and we learned how to survive a bear encounter, and now we are at the Old Faithful Lodge area, and we are going to see when this geyser is predicted to go off and figure out what we're going to do from there. Okay, so we were able to see Old Faithful going off. We did a little hike around the geyser basin there, and we had lunch at the cafeteria at the Yellowstone Lodge. Now it's raining again, kind of off and on here. We're going to head into West Yellowstone so that we can get some gas and maybe look at some of the shops if the weather's still not good. Okay, so on our way to West Yellowstone, we decided to stop to do a short hike to Harlequin Lake. We've never done this hike before, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, we went down into town and then we've just been driving back around the park. We've been taking the long way round to get over to the lake, and we've stopped off in the Canyon Village to see the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone now.
Because we went to visitor center and it has a picture of this and I really want to see it in person. Bye!
Okay, so we have basically ended up in the same situation again. It is raining. It was pouring. It's not raining as bad as it was a couple of minutes ago, but we've arrived back at the campsite, and now we are trying to cook under the car since we don't have a canopy right now. And so, yeah, here we are doing the same thing again. So that's just kind of how this trip has gone. But we did have a pretty nice day, other than right now. Good morning again, Yellow Van fans. We have just checked out of our campsite. We packed everything up. The tent has been going for a long time. If you've watched our videos, you've seen that tent for many years, and even before that. It's probably about 10 years old, and it finally gave out this time. We had snapped poles and broken zippers, so we just decided to throw it out because it just couldn't be repaired anymore. So we're going to have to find a new tent for next time. Now we are leaving the campground. We're still going to do some things here in Yellowstone today because we have the whole day. So the first stop here is going to be the Grand Prismatic Spring.
My eye.
You got your light?
Yeah.
Good. Are you happy?
Yes.
Where are your shoes? Okay, we left the Grand Prismatic Spring Trail about 2 hours ago and been on the road since. There were a lot of buffalo on the road, and then something else. I don't know. Do you know what it was, Lucy? Just some construction?
Construction, yeah.
Some construction there that didn't really seem to be doing anything. And so we were stuck in traffic for a long time. We just made it to the Norris area. We're going to go see the Norris Geyser Basin here. And Lucy's going to get her Junior Ranger badge. What's the wolf say? Okay, we are now on our way home from Yellowstone National Park. We spent part of 2 days and a full day there. And we were there over the Juneteenth weekend, so it was a holiday, but it's not a holiday that everybody gets off yet. So I didn't feel like it was the craziest time there.
No, it wasn't. As
There are
crowded as
definitely
it can be.
crazier ones, but that might have been due to the weather as well. Since you've seen the video, you know that it rained on us quite a bit. So let's talk about whether Yellowstone is worth visiting in the rain. What do you think?
I think it is because a lot of what you do in Yellowstone is driving, too.
Yeah.
Like, to get to places takes a while. And so there's plenty to see, I feel like, from inside your car.
Yeah.
And if you want to see and watch wildlife, you should do that in your car anyways.
Yep. So it was pretty good. We saw quite a bit of wildlife. We definitely saw plenty of bison and elk. We also saw a grizzly bear briefly.
Yep.
And what else?
Saw a mule deer.
Yeah, a deer. And lots of birds and chipmunks and things. Lots of bugs, like butterflies and dragonflies. I would say that in the rain, it's worth it. Now, we wore rain jackets most of the time while it was raining. Camping in the rain was not so great. We were camping at the Grant Village Campground. So that is by the west thumb of Yellowstone Lake. We couldn't do a lot of our normal camping things as far as activities for the girls and things like that because of the rain.
Yes, but I do feel like of our camping experiences where it has rained, this was one of the best ones.
Yes, because we had a van that we could put our girls in to eat.
Yeah.
And because it only rained really hard last night. That was the only time where it just downpoured and we were in the tent sleeping when that was it. And the girls were so exhausted that they just went to sleep when we got there. And during the day, it would rain off and on kind of into this morning. We even got a little bit of snow while we were driving. But then there were times when it was either overcast and not raining or even sunny sometimes, and we were able to do plenty of activities during those times. So we did a lot of things that we'd done before, like Old Faithful and Grand Prismatic Spring, and some of the things around West Thumb, the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone. I think the only thing we did that we hadn't ever done before was the hike to Harlequin Lake. Is that right?
And the Porcelain Basin.
Oh yeah, and the Porcelain Basin at the Norris Geyser area. And so those were kind of the new things that we'd done. We have been to Yellowstone a number of times, so we've done a lot of the things that are pretty common to do there, but it is a really big park, so there's pretty much always something new to do. What would you say was your favorite thing this time?
I like seeing Old Faithful, just because it's a cool thing to do, and I like walking around the boardwalks and seeing all the geothermal things.
Yeah.
And the Grand Prismatic Spring is also always one of my favorites.
Yep. And we did the overlook hike for that because we couldn't get parking at the regular boardwalk. That probably ended up being better because it was so cold out that there was just so much steam coming off of it that you probably couldn't see it very well from the ground level. And for me, I think my favorite thing was doing that new hike to the Harlequin Lake just because it was different than anything we'd ever done in Yellowstone before. It was just kind of through the forest, and then you came out on this little lake that was covered in lily pads. You probably saw that in the video. And so that was pretty cool and kind of a new experience. I also thought it was cool that we saw a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
We'd never seen a grizzly bear before. We'd seen a black bear. In Yellowstone.
Yeah.
We'd never seen it before. And so we'd seen black bear there before, but this time we saw a grizzly bear, so that was cool too.
I also liked seeing all of the bison.
So I'd say if you are planning a trip to Yellowstone, and even if you hear that it's going to be rainy, you should still come because you can still do a lot there even when the weather is not great. You can't do as much, and it might not be as fun, but also it's not going to be blazing hot like it is sometimes during the summer too. So there's always pros and cons to going places while it is raining and less than ideal weather. And this one worked out pretty well for us. Okay, so that's it for Yellowstone, and we will see you guys next time.